It is time for the next stop in our week-long open house series as we crisscross the country for a reality check on real estate. And today's stop is Tampa, Florida, located centrally on the west coast of the Sunshine State. But with the just-released Case-Shiller report showing that Tampa home prices are down 1.6% over the past year, and Florida leading this country in home loan delinquencies. Has the sunshine gone dim on Florida's housing market? Well, Tampa realtor Peter Murphy, co-founder and president of Home Encounter, joins us now from Tampa. And Peter, it's great to have you on the show. So many questions about the Florida real estate market, sir. First, I want to start with the sales picture. From what we understand here across the state, the negative numbers continue for your state.
Oh, yeah, we can't seem to get away from them. The first quarter of this year looked great. Sales were increasing as we led up to April, which was the expiration of the home buyer tax credit, and then we hit a wall in April. And this month, we've seen home sales decline by 20% here in Tampa Bay. We've seen prices drop by 9%. We see inventory up 13% over this time last year. We even see the kind of homes people are buying down about smaller in size, about 5%. So it's been a really, really tough year so far for us.
Well, I'm curious because I'm actually in the market myself, and you know, Tampa's a great example for the rest of the country because it's the perfect storm there, at least if you're the buyer, because as you're saying, the inventory's up, prices down, there are foreclosures.
Right.
How do people tap into this foreclosure market? It seems to be this mysterious market, but there are great deals to be had there. Banks, you know, need to get rid of some of these properties. How do we go about finding them?
Oh, it's a great market, and it's not mysterious. The banks are selling these properties through other real estate agents. So you get with your local real estate agent, and you have them search for foreclosure properties for you, and they will find them. And foreclosures here in Tampa Bay are selling for an average of half the price of non-distressed properties. So they are super good deals. It is the bright lining right now that we're looking at on this housing market.
I have to say, though, Peter, and this is Mark's bread and butter, is the banks. I mean, the banks aren't experts in the real estate market, far from it. And they're the ones that are absorbing all these foreclosed properties, Mark. So that's where the problem might be.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what they want to get off their books. I mean, some banks are just, they're happy to actually, they've already written down these assets, they're happy to hold on to it and see if the markets actually recover, because that's just, you know, more, you know, icing for them if it does.
We see some of that down here.
You do?
Yeah, we're seeing that here. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, definitely. Banks are trying to get rid of sometimes trying to get rid of this, but they're one of the biggest causes of the problem in the housing market right now because they're selling without regard to profit. They don't need to make a profit on these homes. They can either hold them or dump them, and when they dump them is when you have a really bad problem in a local housing market, and that's what we're having here in Tampa.
Let's talk about the prices, though. I mean, I know that we've got some examples to show some homes that you've got, some listings that you have, but give me kind of the price point.
Right.
What price point for a home in Tampa, where is it selling at right now? What is the most popular price point? Is it the lower end, middle, high, what?
Right, far and away, it's the low end. It's that first-time home buyer product that's moving. The average purchase price of a home this last month was $130,000. So it's certainly not a middle or a high-income type home. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home, and you could buy a foreclosed product like that for $80,000, $90,000. If it's not foreclosed, you're buying it for $120,000, $130,000. So that's what's moving right now, and that was, of course, motivated by first-time home buyer tax credits.
Well, the other thing too, Cheryl. I mean, we were talking earlier about the president's speech tonight and whether he's going to address the economy. You know, a big part of that's the housing market and what he's going to do to maybe stimulate that again. But Peter, I mean, I imagine realtors like yourself don't want him to do anything. Says stay away, let the market work itself out. Do you want another home buyer tax credit?
Absolutely not. This tax credit was just such an odd thing. I mean, first of all, $5,000 on the average purchase price of $140,000 is like a 3% discount. I mean, I can negotiate that myself. I don't need a tax credit for that. But here's what happened. The prices dropped from $142,000 to $30,000 this last month. So think about it. Someone who bought to take advantage of that house credit has lost $13,000 in their home value. They've already lost effectively $5,000 if they took that $8,000 and pocketed it. They're in the whole $5,000 already. So don't touch it. Let it work itself out. Let's try to get jobs fixed. Let's try to get the consumer confidence up. Let people come back and start buying up this product, and then maybe we can see a floor somewhere on the market.
Well, that advice. Good advice.
Yeah, no.
You're dead on. You're dead on.
We need a floor, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Just a trend question here, but to Rebecca's point, the economy, given where the economy is right now, what are you seeing in terms of retirement trends? In terms of, Florida's been a hotbed for people to come and retire and go and buy their a new home, a bigger home, so they can actually spend their dotage. But are you seeing more retirement purchases? Are you seeing less? What are the trends in that area?
We're definitely seeing less, and it's part of a problem of product. The kind of product that a retiree buys is a condominium or it's a low-maintenance home in a nicely maintained community. Those communities were the worst hit in this downturn. We have homeowners associations which are financially bankrupt right now. We have homeowners association fees which are through the roof. So this kind of product, which would have been the magnet for retirees, just isn't attractive right now, let alone the fact that it continues to decline in price. So retirees are just very reluctant to invest when they see a market that doesn't have a floor, where prices are still falling, and that is so fundamentally flawed financially.
You get the sense that those retirees are also, whacked by the fact that they've lost in 401ks, or that they're strapped a little bit?
Absolutely. They've got to put 20% down to even buy one of these homes. So they've got to be able to liquidate funds in order to do that. If they're not paying cash for a property, they've got to get financing. That's very, very tough to do without some kind of demonstrated cash flow. They certainly don't have the funds to play around right now, and they don't want to invest in an investment that's declining in value.
I want to show our viewers a map of the state of Florida, just to give them, if you've never been to Florida, you're not familiar with it, kind of where the price pressures are right now in the major cities besides Tampa, St. Pete, Miami down 8%, Fort Lauderdale down 21%, Pensacola down 30%. So we're seeing major price drops just for the month of July. What are your predictions for those from other states in this country that might be looking to maybe get a deal in Florida? What do you say to them?
Well, there's great deals to be had. You can buy here. Prices are low, low, low. And if you buy a foreclosure, I mean, they're not even relevant to what you just mentioned there, because they're so low already. So come in, buy a foreclosure. That's where you're getting the amazing deals. But don't buy a moderately priced home, because all those foreclosure sales are just going to keep pulling down prices and values in Tampa Bay. Buy one of those foreclosures, though, and you've got an amazing deal on your hands. And potentially you can stay below that threshold, that floor, that prices will eventually reach, so maybe a year and a half from now.
It's just the timing, I think, for everybody in the real estate market right now. When to get in, when to get out. It's a tough call for those at home. But Peter Murphy, thank you very much. Very educational about the state of Florida, one of the hardest hit in this country. Thank you, sir.